Hi, this is Gary Rosenzweig with Macmost Now. If you're like me, you carry your MacBook everywhere, and you're used to having wireless access to the internet at home and at work. But outside of that, it's hard to get a Wi-Fi hotspot somewhere, at least something you can rely on. And sometimes public Wi-Fi hotspots can be dangerous. So, is there a way to get access on your MacBook through some other wireless network? And it turns out there is. You can basically use one of the major networks like AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, or Verizon to get access over a mobile phone network. They all have data plans, but all of their information is really geared towards PC users. So it's hard as a Mac user to figure out what will work for you and what won't. Let's take a look at the different options. One of the main things you have to consider is the fact that MacBooks don't have any card slot. So a standard card that you can get for wireless access for your laptop won't work at all on a MacBook. You need something that connects by USB. MacBook Pro has a card slot, but it's not a typical card slot. It's an Express 34 slot, which is a new type of slot, but a lot of the phone companies are behind the times and still offer the old standard cards that won't work at all. So let's take a look at the options on the four major carriers in the United States. Let's start with Verizon. Verizon offers a plan for unlimited data access for $60 a month. But first you have to get a card. Cards range from about $50 to $150 after various rebates and discounts. You can get both an Express 34 card, which you can see here, which will work in your MacBook Pro, or you can get a USB connector that'll work in either a MacBook or a MacBook Pro. So check with Verizon or by calling them or online or go to their website. Sprint also has a $60 unlimited plan. They also have a $40 plan that limits you to 40 megabytes a month, which isn't very much if you're going to surf the web. And they have a pay-as-you-go plan for 3 cents per meg. They offer both a Express 34 card for your MacBook Pro and a USB adapter. You can get these for about $30 to $130 after all the various rebates and things like that. So check the Sprint website, go to a Sprint store, or call them up to find out more. AT&T also has a $60 a month unlimited data plan for laptops. They've got an Express 34 card that is not guaranteed to work for Macs, although it should, but they say to get customer support from the manufacturer, not from them. So you may want to check before you go with this plan. They also have a USB card as well. The Express 34 is about $150 and $50 for the USB card. AT&T's site tells you to go to sierrawireless.com for more support, and when I went there was a lot of options there for various cards and providers, so you may want to check that site out too. Could be helpful. Now, T-Mobile was the most disappointing out of the four major carriers. They didn't have either an Express 34 card or a USB adapter, so in order to use their data plan, which is only $50 a month, you have to actually go with the old style card. But these don't work in either a MacBook or MacBook Pro. However, we found out that there are adapters that will take this old card and adapt it to a USB device. You have to get drivers for that USB device that work on Mac, so more research may be needed here. Now, with all of these, you have to take a few things into consideration. First, that the real prices were much more expensive for all the cards, and you had to get rebates and discounts to bring it down. Second thing is that there were shipping costs, of course, and also there were plan lengths. You had to go for at least 1 or 2 years, mostly 2 years for these plans in order to get these prices. And if you terminated early, there were termination fees. So there's all sorts of things to keep in mind before accessing it. And you want to check these prices. I mean, they change very often. So unless you're watching this just after I publish it, chances are these prices may change. But it'll give you an idea of what's out there. All in all, this is a good option if you travel a lot, or maybe you want to have an alternative to home DSL or something. One of the advantages of all these systems is, of course, the data is more private. It's a little more encrypted directly to one of these carriers. So using a public Wi-Fi spot always leaves you open unless you take a lot of precautions. And it's potential that you could lose some of your data or it can be stolen by somebody, such as passwords and things like that. Public Wi-Fi spots can be dangerous. Using one of these cards is a good way to be safe and to ensure that you have access whether there's a public Wi-Fi spot or not. This topic, by the way, was suggested by a question we got at questions@macmost.com. So if you've got a question about something related to Macs, iPods, or iPhones, and you want us to research it, maybe do a episode about it, just email me at questions@macmost.com. Till next time, this is Gary Rosenzweig.